Today I'm trying to replace our front toilet with a composting toilet. I'm going to remove the old hand pump toilet in my project today, but I'm going to get the composting medium going and see how that works out. This is a Coco fiber brick which goes into the composting toilet, and it has special instructions for the airhead toilet. Put in 1.5 quarts of water to 2 quarts and let it sit for 3 hours, then break it apart. Leave any dry lumps. Solid tank should be half full at the start, and store unused Coir in a sealed bag to avoid contamination. So I'm gonna get this started before I start removing the old toilet. Okay, so this is the brick of Coco Coir, C-O-I-R, I guess that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna put 2 quarts. One and 2. That's it for 3 hours. Okay, this is our old head, the original one. It's a really good model. All brass at the bottom, has of course rubber seals and duct valves like a marine toilet. Big pump handle, and it pumps down that hose, comes up into this cabinet where we can switch it from the tank, pumps into the tank, top of the tank, or it can go overboard, which goes down here and out the through hole to outside, or or the tank's full. Once we're out to sea far enough and we're legally allowed, we can use this handle to just pump the effluent overboard. Anyway, all that's going to eventually come out. I'm going to leave it for about 6 months to make sure this composting toilet works out the way we hope. One thing I'm worried about is I have to disconnect this hose, which is going to have some fluid in it. I'm going to fill the toilet with water several times and just pump that up into the tank so that at least it's filled with mostly fresh water. Some more about this toilet. From what I've read, it was about $1,000 back in 1980, so it's a really good toilet. I have rebuilt it, taken it apart and rebuilt all the fittings inside the brass housing. The only problem with it is the tank we have. The storage tank is very small and it fills up in a couple days. We have not been using it, that's why it's kind of a mess, but I'm going to fill it with water again one more time. And we expect to get 2 weeks to a month with the composting toilet before we have to empty it. And then it's mostly compost. It has a fan that keeps it dried out. And keeps the air coming into the toilet, the composting toilet, so it does not, it dries it out and keeps it more like a compost than actual feces. It has a foot pedal too, and has an inlet for salt water. So you push this pedal down and pump the handle. It's supposed to bring in salt water and flush it around the room, but that salt water gets so gross that we just would pour a couple of cups of fresh water in and flush it with. We never use the salt water inlet. So here we go. Gonna take it out, see how much of a mess I can make.
here. Trying to break the seal or bond it has with the... This is the fresh water, seawater flush hose. Alright, that's off.
Seawater valve is off. I can't pull this down through. There we go. Leave that for now. Eventually that'll come off. I'm sure if we continue to use this composting toilet. You know, although this toilet is no longer made, they still sell the rebuild kits for it. So I have a spare. We have another one of these toilets in the forward stateroom head. And now I'm going to take this one off, which makes me nervous. I have a rag to stuff in there when it comes off. I have the proper tool this time, a 5/16 nut driver. Take it all the way off. Alright, here we go. Big channel locks this time. One problem we have is we don't have any kind of tripod for this phone. Uh-oh, there we go already. Okay, it's mostly fresh water, but you can tell right away it doesn't smell very good. Oh, what else could I do? Let me try another tack. Maybe I can take this side off. I don't know what it's going to do, but I don't know if that valve handle shuts off both sides, if it's in the center position or not. But it doesn't want to drain all of this part going into the tank, but if I can shut it off there, at least it's only this hose that's going to leak. Remove the hose clamp and broken the seal in here. Let's see what happens. Okay, not too much. See, the hose is full of water. And I don't know how to get that out of there. And what I wound up doing was I hooked my wet back up to the top of that hose, and I sucked all the water out of the hose, so it worked out pretty well. Made it almost dry, and it sucked the water right out of the toilet and up through the hose, and when I took it off, nothing came out onto the floor. Okay, I think it'll be easier Give me more room to work if I unbolt the bottom of the toilet first. So we'll do that instead. This time, 4 bolts in, I can move it wherever I need to.
Alright, this is a line bolt. The rest are bolted through with 2 bolts. Line bolt. I'm a slow mechanic, I'm not a fast mechanic. I am a half-fast mechanic. Wash it off the bottom. We can use those with the new coat down on the new coat. Look at my right hand here. I'm left-handed. A little bit uncoordinated.
Okay, so and we are off. Boy, heavy. Block this with a wooden bung for now. Hopefully shove it through the wall. Clamp it on there. Quick fit through there with those crap on there. That might. If I get a bigger hammer, it might just work. I think this will do. There we go. Out of sight, out of mind.
Put the top end back on. So when there's that valve, there's no issues. If we get out to sea far enough, we can pump out the water out of that tank and whatever left over overboard. Okay, so that's all sealed up and good for storage for a few months. See how this new toilet works.
Less than an hour later, this has absorbed all the water. Instructions say just break it up. I guess it has enzymes in it to start the composting process. Wow. All right, it's amazing. This little brick, 2 quarts of water, gets big enough to fill this whole foot bath in an hour or so. It's almost dry, just slightly moist.
Urine tank. Toilet hardware.
Toilet seat goes up. Open the valve. You're not supposed to urinate into the main tank. You're supposed to urinate into. Women can just go right there and it'll go into the urine tank. Men have to do a little more. And then compost goes down here, and we have a crank on the side, which just keeps everything stirred up, and it composts. The only thing I have to do now is add a hose going outside and a fan. Creates a vacuum so no smell comes out, and also keeps air coming in and dries out the compost. Very simple, and everything I read, nobody that has one is unhappy with it. Okay, that was the easy part, I think. The only thing to do is run a hose to the outdoors and put the vent and hook 12 volts up to that. I have 12 volts in the bathroom here, so it shouldn't be too hard. But you want to empty the urine container, you just loosen these two thumb screws. This is a 1 gallon. We also have a 2 gallon container. It has a lid to put on while you carry it outside and dump it or whatever you need to do. And then to empty the main hopper, you loosen these 4 thumb screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can twist off the top. Do this better if I had a photographer with me. June is in Coos Bay visiting her son. Here's the stir mechanism. And then just loosen this screw, thumb screw, this thumb screw. You can carry this out and empty it as you see fit. Also has the thumb screws that you can close it off if you don't want to. You can actually get 2 of these or more and allow it to continue to compost, or you can just empty it into a garbage bag. Should be mostly dry powder or moist powder, and there you have it.
Fill about half full, and that's about what it's doing. And it's ready to go, except for, so last time I'll be doing this. When you did dump it, uh-oh, shoot. When you did dump it, you can leave the old stuff in there to start the enzyme process over again. Also, just to put in some enzyme, stand by.
So we had a fan mounted here and had 12 volts going to it. This is the forward stateroom, and took that wire. We never use that fan, and I'm running it through this thing out to here. We're gonna run a temporary fan overboard right through here for now until I can get more hose and put it up through the ceiling. into the deck with a drain vent. There's your composting toilet. Urine jar. Crank handle. And I didn't have enough hose, so this is just a temporary solution, but it'll work for as long as we want it to. And the fan blows out. It takes air in here through a screen.